I've got a piece of 1/2 inch stock up here. It's just cheap stock. It was actually an axle for a barbecue grill. I'm going to, it's kind of long. I'm just going to start cutting some threads. What I want to see is the difference between using this chuck, any advantages or what disadvantages using this chuck, and then I'm going to put up the 5C Collet Chuck. This is pretty far gone here. I anticipate it'll pretty far gone. It's pretty far sticking out. Now I know this piece is twice as long as this. This is in the center. You can see a shiny spot. I cut a mark on the center. And this is about how much is in the chuck. So when I turn this around, I'll need this to chuck to do the experiment with the other end. I'm using high-speed steel because my core body tool wants to hit this. I don't have a CNC type center. So let's just start it running. Oh, this is set up for 20 thousandths or 20 threads per inch. And so let's just take a pass and see what happens. I got it on a pretty slow speed. I always use a stop. I got a stop set. So we'll bring her in and I always use one. That wheel's flopping. I don't know why. Take a couple of scratches across. That way I'll have a line if I want to turn this piece of stock into something else later. That's probably far enough. Back to the stop. Give her a few more. I'm going to take a couple passes to see what happens. 73. Should have made a note of that. Okay, not a finished half 20 yet. So let's, I guess we'll finish it up. Oil here. Oh, wait. Okay, so let me take one cleanup pass. Whether a nut goes on or not, I'll flip it around, put it into the other chuck, and see what happens. That's good enough. So that didn't seem to be any problem. Well, I mean, it's obvious that the Vevor chuck is going to have a disadvantage, being sticking out so far. But let's just turn this around and see what happens. I will check the nut, but I expect it won't go. I hope it doesn't go. Well, it's actually pretty good. It's actually pretty good. I've made some stops. Okay, not a lot of talking, do a little bit more cutting than talking on this. Okay, let's get this out of the way. This out of the way. Now you can see this bar was split right in the middle. I'm going to turn it around now and do the same thing to this end. Except I will be doing it in the Vevor chuck. 5C Collet Chuck. We'll throw that up there, see what happens. half-inch collet sitting here. Wrench here. And the bar that I'm going to use here. Okay. Okay, so we'll put this to that line. I like to oil the end before I put it in there. Okay. Okay, the cross slide is at 11. I think that's where I finished it up. That's what I want to go into again, 11. This chuck is not really that gritty. Okay. Alright, so do the same thing we did to the other side to this side. I'll have to check my camera because it only allows for 20 minutes of recording. So I might want to reset it. I'm going to stop it and restart it. Okay, that gives me a fresh 20-minute interval. Same speed, 20 thousandths. It's up tight. Go into the same stop. Back this out. Okay, so just do the same thing we just did to the other side. This side has a little run more where you could hear some run out, but it's not because of the chuck. The center hole wasn't quite right. Far enough. Trying to keep the depth of cuts consistent with what the other part of the test were. Okay, the other thread ended at 11 on the dial. Right now I'm at 5. I'll take this pass, one more pass, and then a skim pass. And I'm going to go an extra 2 thousandths. Very little, because this is 1-for-1 dial. Taking 1 on this dial is the same as taking 2 on a regular dial, on a dial that's calibrated. I'll tell you, I really can't put my finger on it, but this seems to be doing a better job of cutting. The material seems more stable in the grip. But that's just my personal... Listen for the sound change coming up. I'm going to bring forward the soundtrack from the previous cut when it was in the 3-jaw chuck. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it does seem like this is cutting better. Maybe because it's got a wider grip on the material. It's allowing it to flex less. Like I say, I can't put my finger on what it is, but something seems better. I better go put an angle on there. I do plan on using this material. I'm going to use it for my stops for my 5C collets. I'll take this out so I don't get hurt with it. I've actually got a scar on my arm in the shape of a 30 degree. I was using one of the old Williams boring bars with that little end on it. Maybe I can show you one. There we go. Williams boring bars had a little screw cap and a wrench that fit in there. And I was in high school. We had them in high school, and I was turning that wrench, and my arm, it went right in my arm. I got a little scar right there. Still got it today. Okay, so we have cut the thread, hit it with a file. Okay, so my take on it is that the Vevor chuck, by having a wider grip on it, I'd have to measure it's not very much, because the 5C collet doesn't go a full length. It only has the diameter for 1.5 inches. But it's gripping it all the way around, where the 3-jaw chuck was maybe 1/8 of an inch wide by 1.5 inches long, 3 places. So it seems like to me, it seems like it has a better grip on it, which actually dampened vibration in the material. And I kind of was happy about that. Let's see if the nut fits on there. I've done lost my wrench again. I'd lose my head if it wasn't attached. it is right here, right in front of me. Been a snake that bit me. Okay. I used to have a nail. Oh, I started hanging my brush on my nail. I'll have to put a new nail. Okay, so where's my nut? Actually, I shouldn't even. This nut goes on. I took a 2000 then deeper. There's no play there at all. That's a good fit. That's a nice thread. I'm happy with that. The collet. This is the. This is still a work in progress here. Okay, this nut has an OD thread that screws into the back of the file. I'll set it all up and I'll do a video on that. Goes into the 5C collet. Then you screw this. The only thing I'll need now is a lock nut, which I'll make out of a 1/2 inch 13 bolt. I'll just drill and tap the head and then cut the head off, and then I'll have a nut. That's a nice. Okay, tighten it up now. Probably because it was pushing away. It was actually pretty long. Okay, so that's pretty nice. Now I got two nice pieces of 1/2 20. The experiment was to see the differences, compare the two chucks doing it, and I tell you, the outcome, I think I prefer the Vevor chuck for this particular thing I was doing here. So I will do another experiment with another job I got coming. I got to make some camera mounts, so we'll try that, and I will need to stop for that, and that'll be a good chance to try that out. So I hope that's helpful, and we'll do some more comparisons on this chuck too.